All right, so what's good? What's good, homies? It's your man, King Ray Ray. Y'all put a one in the chat, man. If you can hear me loud and clear, go ahead, stick a one in the chat. If you can hear the King Ray Ray loud and clear like you're supposed to, man, y'all put a one in the chat for me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's get ready to do this, man. I appreciate all the members of the kingdom, all the brothers of the kingdom coming through on us today, man. You know, we had to get back in here, man. My bad for being gone for so long. But now we back again, and King Ray Ray gonna come in September. We're gonna leave September and come in October strong, man. So y'all bear with me here. JK all day. Salute. Markel, what's good, young brother? The money boy, salute. Swarthy, I see you in here, man. I see you in here. Let's get ready to do this, man. King Ty, what up? What up? So look, man. Somebody asked me a question, and it was a very emotional question. And I could tell that this person was going through what I like to call separation anxiety. And separation anxiety is normally related to, say, like children leaving home, or going to school for the first time, going to kindergarten, or even going to preschool or daycare or K4, K3, whatever you want to call it. But there's also an adult version of separation anxiety that's even more demanding of one's time, focus, and energy, because when you're a child, separation anxiety ends at the end of the day. And then finally, you get used to the fact that you're going to be gone for a better portion of the day, and then you're going to be right back with those people you love, know, and trust, right? And the relationship gets easier because it's easier for you to stay away once you familiarize yourself with your new surroundings. Adult separation anxiety is something totally different. When you cut people off as an adult, you don't mend those relationships. Those relationships are over for good. You don't cut them off for the better part of the day and then see them again in the afternoon. These are people that you got to cut off for good, man. And that's one of the main reasons that people tend to try to hang on to people in their lives who don't do anything but bring negative energy to them. No positive energy, no positive reinforcement, no constructive criticism, no any of those things. And today we're going to talk about how you know that you need to be cutting people off, because if people don't care about your life and what you're building yourself into, you got to cut them off. Cut them off. Because if not, they're going to hang on to you and they're going to weigh you down, and you're never going to reach your full potential. You're never going to reach the highest of heights that you could reach in your life, because they're going to hold you back and try to keep you down with all of their might. Because they know once you're out of sight, they don't have the option. They don't have the privilege, and sure don't have the right of being in any positive position in your life. So you got to cut these people off, man. You got to cut them off. Cutoff game has to be ferocious, man. And y'all know I ain't making this up. And sometimes it comes down to emotional attachment to people. And the people you emotionally attach to, man, it is hard to let them go, because truly, when you emotionally attach yourself to someone, you lose a part of yourself when that person goes away. When you and that person part ways, you lose a part of yourself. You know what attachment is? Attachment doesn't come loose. When you attach yourself emotionally to someone and there's a breakup, or they break off, or you break off, whenever there's a loosening of the ties, it doesn't break off at the end that's attached. It separates in the middle. So wherever it breaks at, whatever's attached to them goes with them. And whatever's attached to you stays with you. That's why it's so difficult to put yourself in a situation where you understand the necessity of cutting people out of your life. Famo, salute. Royalty. Spiritual Alpha. Appreciate the 2 bones, brother. Appreciate it. Salute. So let's talk about some of these things. There's some decisions you have to make now. Let's be honest about it. You can't blame people for taking advantage of you. You can't blame people for not reciprocating what you give them. You can't blame people for not being who you think they ought to be. You can't blame people for not appreciating you. See, all of these things you want other people to do to make life easier for you and make your interaction with people easier, that's not their job. In a perfect world, yes, but when the last time you lived in a perfect world? I've never lived in one. So it's your job to vet these people out of your life because they don't mean you any good. Now let's talk about some of the things you must look at. You must know the difference between a friend or a foe who's posing as a friend. See, you got to remember that just because you're a good friend to someone doesn't make them your friend. They have to reciprocate the energy that you give them. I was just talking to a little shot she had this situation going on in her life. Had to cut a friend off or someone she thought was a friend until they showed her they weren't a friend in the most egregious of ways. And not only did they show her, they showed no remorse for it. That's why you have to make sure that the energy you give someone is being reciprocated. You can't go through the life flying by the seat of your pants thinking that you can just be all kind and sweet and nice to everybody. And even though they're taking your kindness for weakness, once someone takes your kindness for weakness, they're going to try to exert power and control over you because of what they assume to be your weakness. And your kindness isn't your weakness. Your willingness to be nice, that's not your weakness. Your consideration of others, that's not your weakness. Your weakness is believing that someone deserves that just because you give it. You don't make people earn that. You just give it to everybody. You are nice indiscriminately. You are kind indiscriminately. We don't live in a world where you can be indiscriminately kind or nice or sweet or generous to people. You got to make people earn it. So once you realize that, see, first of all, you got to know what a friend looks like. When you look at a friend, you know what you see? A reflection of you. If you don't see a reflection of you, then you're tying yourself to someone who's just waiting for an opportunity to use you, take advantage of you, who's willing to stop your shine and your grind because looking out for themselves is all that's on their mind. And it can be family. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Stop believing that family is family just because y'all related. See, being related to someone makes them a relative. It doesn't make them family. Family is as family does. So family treats family like family. There are certain things that family is not going to do to you. A relative will, but family won't. So you got to start believe. You got to always look at everyone's actions. It's not about anybody's words. It's not about some type of relationship they deserve because they know you or because they've been around you or because y'all got the same blood. Let me tell you something, man. You interact with people based on how they interact with you, man. Listen, man, listen. If you are one of the turn the other cheekers, this ain't for you. You need to go somewhere and listen to some turn the other cheek type of conversation. We ain't no turn the other cheekers over here, man. You get what you earn from us. And many people can apply that to everyone in the world except for those people who are closest to you. But you have to apply it to those people because those people are probably the ones that you're emotionally attached to. Those people are the ones who are in a position to hurt you the most, to affect you the most negatively, to have the biggest impact on your life, whether positive or negative. So those are the ones you absolutely have to put their feet to the fire. You got to show me who you are. And if I'm giving you an energy, you better reciprocate my energy or you ain't going to get no more of it. I ain't going to fall out with you. I'm going to cut you off. Many people don't know the difference between family and a relative. You got cousins that hate on you. You got siblings that try to stop your shine. And then you got people you met in school or people you met at work and they hold you down like they've been knowing you your whole life, like they owe you something. So you will notice the difference between those people. There's a huge difference in someone giving you constructive criticism and someone just giving you negative energy. That's why it's called constructive criticism. If it's not constructive and it's criticism, it's negative energy. The only thing that keeps criticism from being negative is when it's constructive. You know what constructive means? That you criticize someone while giving them a tool to build what you're telling them they should tear down. Criticism is just tearing down. Constructive. From the word construct, construction, constructing. Constructive means having the ability to build. So you can't deal with people who criticize you and then don't give you what you need. People who criticize you and then don't give you anything to build. People who take away from you but don't give anything in return. You can't afford to deal with those people. You can't afford it, man. It doesn't make sense to even think about it. Is it me, man, or is there a delay? Do y'all notice a delay that's a little bit different than it's normally been, or does it look the same to y'all? Y'all put a one in the chat, man, if y'all noticed a little bit more of a delay. But if it's the same, then don't put anything in the chat. Yeah, that's true, famo. Even your daughter, man. Listen, even when it comes to your offspring, when it comes to your seeds, man, they're still people. And at a certain point, even from birth, they're absolutely selfish. Let me tell you something. The most selfish human being on the planet is a newborn baby. Can't do nothing for nobody, but needs everybody attention all the time. We come into the world selfish. It takes a well-made-up mind to not be selfish. And so your circle is going to be small when you're a good person. Your circle is going to be small because you've got to notice that when you're a good person and you want to surround yourself with good people, you're limited to the amount of people you can have around you, man. You're limited. You got to remember that. So you got to understand the difference between someone who's being supportive. People always claim they support what you're doing. Man, I support, man. I mean, now I support you, man. You my kinfolk, man. I support you, man. I support you. But if your support is always just words of competition, you ever tell somebody something that's going on with you, man, how you've been working on this thing for a minute and it's finally coming to fruition, and the first thing they tell you is what they doing? You ever known somebody who every time they talk to you, only time they want to talk to you is when they tell you what they doing, what they got going on? Now tell that person one thing you got going on and watch what they tell you. They'll make up something to tell you that they got going on just to compete with you. Let me tell you something, brothers. Competition is wonderful if we're in the same field. If we're in the same business, competition is wonderful. But there's a difference between being supportive and being lecherous. You know what lecherous means? That means somebody's a leech. It means that they support you in a way that benefits them. Yes, they support you, man. You're doing good, man. I'd like to see you doing good, man. Let me hold some. They support you, man. Listen, man, I knew you were going to make it, man. I'm telling you, I knew you were going to make it one day, man. I knew you were going to make it. Hey, look, man, I got this thing going on over here, man. You think you can help me out with this? Man, you think, man, hey, listen, bro, let me tell you something, man. Man, good to see you, man. Finally get your shine, man, on this content thing, man. Finally get, hey, man, so you think I can interview you? That's a leech, man. Here's the thing. In order for someone to be lecherous, they have to fake like they're supportive. So is it real support? Or are they just there because they know they can benefit from what you're doing in life? Let me tell y'all something, man. Putting yourself in a position where you can make good money, it's a gift and a curse. Because the more people think, not even know, the more people think you make money, they become lecherous. So sometimes people who were supportive before, that's why you have to screen and glean everybody. You know how every year you got to look at your finances and do your taxes and all that? You got to do that in your life. Stop just worrying about doing your taxes and taking financial accountability once a year. Do that in your everyday life. Do that in your personal life, in your spiritual life, in your physical life, in your mental life, in your emotional life. Do it all the time, man. You owe it to yourself. So when these people they might have been supporters last year, but this year they're not. Their support has turned into being lecherous. You know how many people talk bad about you, man, if you don't get them something they ask for? You know how many people try to guilt trip you into giving them something? You know how many people will reach out indiscriminately and try to just it don't matter. They don't care anything about what you got going on in your life. They just want to see what they can get out of you. Let me tell y'all something, man. Some people want to see you win, but some people only want to see you win if they share in the spoils of your win. That player down there way at the end of the bench who don't never get in the game, he get a ring too. But you know what? At least he on the team. How come the man that sell popcorn and hot dogs at the arena, why he want a ring? He worked for the team at the arena. He ain't got nothing to do with the team. But he want a ring too. Why? Because some people only want to see you win when the win benefits them. You know, now this isn't every case. There are people, man, who are genuinely happy to see you win. Just because you represent their town or you come from where they're from or they can identify with you, man, they are happy that you won. But the majority of the people in your immediate personal life, they only want to see you win because you winning means they get to reap some of the spoils. That's just what it is. They don't care. They don't care how you feel. They don't care what you think. They just want to be a part of what you're doing simply because they will take any benefit that comes with it. You see guys out here, man, they got this entourage around. Nobody's valuable and people just walking around. Let me tell you something, man. You can't be around me if you don't contribute to the process of my progress. You are a waste of me talking to you. If I can't talk business with you, why am I talking to you all the time like this? If we ain't talking business, we shouldn't be talking all the time. Am I saying we shouldn't ever talk? No, man. You know, you can talk to your relatives and your friends and all that, man, if that's what you want to do. But for me, we're not finna spend a whole lot of time talking if you can't contribute nothing to the process of my progress. I don't have that kind of time to waste. I don't have that kind of time to waste, man. And nor do I want to have that kind of time to waste. See, I think one of the major issues that we deal with in this society is the majority of us don't know the difference between fake love and real hate. See, there's an old saying and a song. There's a thin line between love and hate. There really is. Sometimes it's hard to tell because you see people who are in love or claim they're in love, and sometimes they interact with one another like they hate one another. So when you see a couple that's into a heated argument, that's not what people who love one another should do. But if that couple loves one another and they live that kind of life, then it's easy for you to see the wrong representation of what love looks like. You know what love look like? It looks like what you have for yourself. If anybody confesses their love for you and they don't treat you how you treat you, they lying, man. They making stuff up. If you don't interact with me the way I interact with myself, then you don't know what it means. I love me. And I interact with me in a way that indicates that. Why you think I'm sitting here drinking ancient mushroom elixir? It's got reishi, mushroom, chaga mushroom, and turkey tail. Why do you think I got water right beside that? Why you think I'm hitting this gym doing 2 a days? Well, honestly, the first time is just cardio and maybe forearms, so not really 2 a days, but still 2 a days. Because I love me. Why you think I try to figure out? I want to only do things that are best for me. Why? Because I love me. Now, what are you giving me that represents that love? What are you giving me that represents that same energy? What are you giving me that represents that you will put yourself on the line to make sure that I can get the things that I need out of life? People will smile in your face and laugh behind your back, man. People will show you love in your face and gather with those who hate the very breath you breathe behind your back. People will say they want to see you win in your face and then turn around and try to sabotage everything you have going on behind your back, man. You got to remember, man, that people are not trustworthy. People aren't trustworthy. You got to make someone earn your trust. You got to make someone earn your love. You got to make someone earn your respect. You got to make someone earn your consideration. We give all of those good things to people so freely, but when someone earns neglect, when someone earns lack of respect, when someone earns distance, we act like it's so hard to leave somebody alone. Well, you better get over it. You better figure out how to cut people off, man. If people don't care about your life and what you're building yourself into, cut them off. Like Teddy Pendergrass, cut them off. You got to cut them off, man. And see, this all starts with parenting and grandparents, right? You grow up and they're offering you genuine advice and guidance, or so you think. And then you realize they're trying to live vicariously through you. So it starts at home. It starts with demanding the respect of your parents. It starts with demanding the respect of your grandparents. It starts with not dealing with them if they can't give you that respect. Because the majority of mistakes you make in your early years are based on what you were taught or weren't taught by your parents. And so you got to remember that either they're offering genuine guidance or they're living vicariously through you. And when they're living vicariously through you, boy, you can get so far down the rabbit hole, you don't want to go where you stuck in a life, stuck in a career, stuck with a wife, stuck in a situation that you ain't never want to be in because you to follow somebody else's lead because they want to live vicariously through you. They didn't do what they wanted to do with their lives, so now they want to do it through you in your life. They have wasted their lives and now they want to waste yours too. Come on, man. Why would we do this? Like Flam said, man, you never let anybody treat you lower than you'll treat yourself. If you treat yourself like a king, why would you accept less treatment from someone else? If you treat yourself with respect, you treat your body with respect, why would you let somebody come around, man, and treat it like you don't? If you treat your spirit, man, with respect, why would you let somebody come around and disrespect your spirit, man? You got to learn how to cut people off. When they cross the line, they ain't got no business crossing. Cut them off. I want y'all to understand this, man. A couple super chats here, man. NSA Ahasi. Appreciate it. Appreciate the Fit the Bone sponsorship of the show, man. Salute, brother. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate you showing up and contributing. Champ. Appreciate the 10 bones, brother. Appreciate it. So I want y'all to keep in mind that it's your job to protect yourself from yourself. See, you could be so nice that you're too nice. You could be so kind that you're too kind. You could be so considerate that you're too considerate. You know, you could be so understanding that you're too understanding. Man, I've known people, man, who ran their businesses into the ground because they tried to keep people on who weren't doing their job properly. Matter of fact, people who were doing their job terribly. And they wanted to keep them on because they got a family and so what? They know they got a family. They know they need to come in here and do what they need to do to make the money they need to make to take care of their family. Why is that my responsibility? Why is it my responsibility to make you man up or woman up and do the thing that you need to do to take care of your own family? Hey, I got my own family. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not very concerned about yours. That's your job. And that's just the reality of it, man. We got to stop acting like we don't have the right to make people earn all of our good qualities. You don't have to be nice to everyone. Some people don't deserve that. You don't have to be kind to everyone. Some people don't deserve that. You don't have to be considerate of everyone's plight. Some people chose that plight willingly. They don't deserve it. Stop believing that you're supposed to sacrifice yourself and your peace of mind and everything else for people who you don't know if they're friend or foe. You don't know if they're family or relative. You don't know if they're offering constructive criticism or negative energy. You don't know if they're being a supporter or a leech. You don't know if they're showing fake love or real hate. You don't know if they want to see you win, but then they only want to see you win if they get to share in the spoils. You don't know if they're offering genuine advice and guidance, or they're living vicariously through you, or trying to anyway. You know why you don't know that? Because you won't accept the fact that you have the right to know. You have the right to know. You have the right to understand. You have the right to demand. And I want y'all to understand that. You have the right to place demands on people to give you the energy that is going to be necessary in your life for you to give them your best qualities. Do you know that most people don't meet nobody kind? Do you know that most people don't need nobody considerate? Do you know that most people don't meet nobody fair? Do you know how unfair most people are? All of those good qualities you have, man, they are hard to come by. So you make sure that when you expose somebody to them, that they deserve them. And how do they deserve them? By exhibiting and showcasing some of those same qualities. Fud, man, appreciate the dime. Show no emotions, act accordingly once you understand who you're dealing with. Don't even check them, let your Nikes move. Let your Nikes move, man. Don't even check them, let your Nikes move. So I say this, man. I want y'all to remember that it took you a lot to even figure out the direction you want to go in life. And it took even more for you to start building toward that direction. Never let anyone tell you that it's okay for you to be walked on, stepped over, and genuinely disrespected by people who claim to have your best interests at heart. Claim to have your best interests at heart. So look, man, I'm not gonna hold y'all in here long, man. I just want to come in here and give y'all about a half-hour blast off on this thing, man. I appreciate y'all being in the joint, famo. I appreciate you, man. I know you be on that road, man. I appreciate y'all, brother, sliding through. Fud, I appreciate you, champ. I appreciate you. NSA, I appreciate you, man. All the Green Label gang, all the Kingdom, man. I appreciate it. We about to head on out of here, man. Listen, y'all put God first and keep grinding and growing. I do mean keep grinding and growing, and don't stop. Peace.